Hello and welcome to Jessie Bear Book Club. Today we are talking about the cancelled TV show, The Knick, Season 1. I came across The Knick by accident. I got the first 2 episodes free when I bought a box set of something else, and I watched them one rainy Sunday afternoon and was instantly hooked. I watched every episode and was extremely sad when the 3rd season was cancelled, as the show was honestly amazing and few things then or now have lived up to it. It has been a few years since I originally watched it, and I've never re-watched it, so here we go. During the first watch, I adored the evil Lucy Elkins, played by Eve Hewson, as well as the weedy, money-stealing, whoring Herman Miller, played by Jeremy Bobb, and who could forget Dr. Bertie? He was such a cutie, played by Michael Angarano. So let's begin this review. Episode 1 does a great job of showing 1900s New York, the poverty and the class divide within the Knickerbocker Hospital. However, this is not a TV show with somebody with a weak stomach. There is too much blood and living innards. Definitely don't watch it if you're trying to eat dinner. The camera angles in this show are stranger than I remember, but it works, and the music is strangely modern and techno, which leads you into the idea that this is a strange new world of medical advancement. The episode shows Dr. John Thackery's, played by Clive Owen's, massive dependence on drugs from the very beginning and how he depends on them to keep up his high workload. The second episode does a really good job of highlighting the racism and inequality Dr. Algernon Edwards, played by Andre Holland, faces in daily life and is woke without being in your face. I like it. Also, I like the whole work-life balance motif this episode had, and it was great to see in the Irish mob. We also get the first indication that Sister Harriet, the nun, played by Cara Seymour, is up to no good. Episode 3 is the Syphilis episode without a doubt. It is sometimes good to be reminded of the horrors before modern medicine. Seeing Abigail, played by Jennifer Fenrin, without a nose was horrifying in all the right ways, and her story was so sad and commonplace in the 1900s. But hands down, the best scene in episode 3 is Herman, his whore Julia, and the imaginary flea. It is so funny and tame by modern standards, but it has me laughing out loud, and I keep thinking about it for some strange reason. It's just so funny. By the time we get to episode 4, the characters are pretty well established. And my favorite quote from this episode is, "There is no nobility in poverty, only poverty, and only struggle in struggle." Isn't that so true? I loved Bertie's dad giving him a talking to and using that phrase. And did anyone else catch Bertie's Mormon joke to his sister? Because that had me giggling. This was a very heavy, Cleary episode, played by Chris Sullivan, and Sister Harriet also, played by Cara. The episode has some extremely funny moments of diplomatic Irish talking tos, and there's such a hot button issue of abortion and birth control being discussed, which is relevant in today's world. So I really enjoyed that because you can see the parallels with today's world. Also, Cleary is hilarious, no matter what his opinion. The shock of this episode comes when Dr. Everett, played by Eric Johnson, punches Algernon Edwards in the face, and Edwards did kind of deserve it because he was messing with a patient to get people to pay attention to him. I seen why he did it, but he did kind of deserve that punch. There was somebody's life on the line after all. Episode 5 was a bit of filler, but we all expect a bit of filler now and then. I did enjoy all the stuff about the bicycle and Thackery learning to ride it and the little flirtation between him and Lucy. However, the stuff with baby Lillian having meningitis and dying breaks my heart. Her death kills me every time. I also enjoyed the stuff with the prostitutes and learning about the French letter, aka the condom. Episode 6 is also a bit of filler and progression. Bertie the Wise and the naked prostitutes being used for medical experiments was hilarious because he's such a prude and such a good boy. I was very happy that they got their operation mastered though, and that Bertie got recognition for what he had done and discovered. It was also fun watching everyone in the hospital get really excited about the x-ray machine and Herman deciding to x-ray his head. It may also have taken half a season, but Algernon has finally got his recognition. Yay! Clap, clap. Episode 7 should be renamed The Riot. Racial tensions come to a head when a policeman is shot and killed. The drunk Irish mammy inciting the riot was so funny, and I loved how she couldn't stand unaided. It was so realistic. The riot goes on, and the trauma bonding with Elkins and Thackery banging, and then Algernon and Cornelia as well, was very realistic and is actually a thing. It was all very hot and heavy and sweet somehow at the same time. But Herman being worried about his whore girlfriend Julia was extremely funny, especially when he climbs through the window and finds her having sex with the policeman. Episode 8, where all our characters' chickens come home to roost. A war in Sri Lanka means Thackeray has no cocaine and is having severe withdrawal symptoms. Meanwhile, Lucy Elkins is discovering how self-centered Thackeray the drug addict can be, while blissfully unaware that Bertie, sweet Bertie the Wise, is in love with her. Algernon and Cornelia are still boning in private, and Everett's idea to adopt a baby to help with his wife's grief backfires massively. Episode 9, The Golden Lotus. This episode really highlights the three main romantic relationships in this show and their extreme differences and sadnesses. Everett and Eleanor's is for sure the saddest relationship. Eleanor killing baby Grace and then being taken away by the wee men in white coats was terrifying, while Cornelia and Algernon's relationship is 100% the purest and most real, and the predicament they find themselves in is unimaginable. However, Thackeray and Elkins take the cake for the most effed up. Elkins prostituting herself and then stealing cocaine for Thackeray shows her level of obsession with this man. Thackeray is her drug. In the final episode, Cornelia gives in to social convention and gets a secret abortion and then marries Philip. Herman has the Irish mob killed in an amazing scene starring Mr. Wu, the opium dealer, and he now owes Wu, much to his horror. The most important scene, however, in this final episode is Thackeray going off the deep end on drugs and accidentally killing a patient with an extremely bad idea for a blood transfusion. But what is harder to watch is Bertie realizing his mentor is a druggie, poor baby Bertie, and enabler Elkins. There is also a horrifying scene where Everett realizes his wife's doctor has pulled out all her teeth to cure her madness. Ooh, it gives me the shivers. As season 1 comes to an end, the focus moves from Thackeray to a bottle labeled heroin. This is the end of the final episode of season 1. I believe this show is so good because all the characters are flawed in some way. It is very George R.R. Martin. The characters are all so grey. This show is so good. There is sex, but it's not over the top like in The Tudors and other historical shows. Some of the camera choices and the music choices are a bit odd, and at times I felt like I was watching a student film, but I don't really care. IMDb gave The Knick Season 1 8.5 out of 10, and Rotten Tomatoes gave it 92%. I give it 8 out of 10 easily. You can watch The Knick on Prime, but you have to buy it. And I have season 2 on DVD ready to go. Fun fact before we come to the end of this review, Lucy Elkins, played by Eve Hewson, is Bono's daughter. Isn't that crazy? Well, this is the end of this review, so please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel for more historical fiction reviews, both TV and literature. Until next time, bye!